So this girl texted me through the DM on TikTok. I met her, and she wanted to go on a date with me, and I'm homeless and everything. I'm trying to figure out, like, I don't have money, but yeah, I'll go on the date with you. But as soon as we get to the date, the vibe was there. It was cool. It was straight and all that. But then afterwards, she expect me to pay. But I'm like, you knew I was homeless on TikTok. You saw me. Like, I don't have that much money. I don't really have nothing to offer to pay. So, we just letting it just ride. We just talking. And, time when the bill came, the check, I'm looking at it, I'm like, damn. But I'm like, in my mom, like, Jesus Christ, I can't pay for this. So I get up, go to the bathroom, and then I use the bathroom. I come out, I leave. Am I wrong? Like, y'all tell me, am I wrong for doing that? Leaving her to the bill for her to pay? It's, I don't have it like that. I'm just, be honest with you, but I am, working and doing out, but I don't have it like that.
Toots my goats forgot my microphone was muted when I was about to say, girl, I didn't know how to start this video out. I didn't know what to say at the beginning of this video. All I knew was that I had found a ton of stories about men being on dating apps and women being on dating apps and dating people who already have like homes and stuff and then trying to move in with them really quick, fast, and in a hurry. And from our last video yesterday, I had come to the conclusion that we have all done some dumb stuff like this. We have all tried to help somebody out a little too much. We have all let someone move in a little too early, too prematurely. And I said, you know what? It's Saturday. Shoot, let's talk about it.
Just trying to, just spend time trying to go on a date with a girl and whatever.
You go over to girl house, you know what I'm saying? This is the first time she let you come through, you know what I'm saying? You gotta hit her at her house the first time.
I can't tell if he's telling the truth or playing or if he's joking or not joking. I couldn't find the rest of the parts to how to be a hobosexual, but I tell you what, this is exactly how they be looking. They be attractive, put together, all of it. He looked like he smelled good.
This is the only way the plan is gonna work. So you get her to let you come over there and hit her at her crib. You dog it down, you feel me? Beat the doonies all the way down, you feel me? And then fall asleep, you know what I'm saying? Right. But you gotta make sure it's on a day that you know she gotta go to work in the morning. You feel me? So you come over there, kill it, fall asleep. If she wake up in the morning and just go to work and don't wake you up and tell you to leave or nothing like that, then just don't never leave.
Also, to become a successful homosexual, you gotta start with the nasty off the gate, off rip. You gotta start with the nasty shit. Any dude that she's trying to talk to that got a job, that got actual responsibilities and shit, yeah, he wanna do nasty shit, and he'll probably eventually get to the nasty shit once, there's a bond formed, but you gotta start off early. So I'm talking about, you gotta start putting cinnamon rolls in that, eating the cinnamon roll out of her ass. You gotta do that, let her pee on you. Like, all that nasty shit, when you have those conversations, the type of shit she kind of alludes to, bring that shit out of her, because she's gonna have a level of comfortability with you, because those things are going to make her feel vulnerable, because she may wanna pee on somebody, but she ain't gonna sit there and say that. So if she hints towards that, you might, no, you can pee on me. Once you do that, you uncovered the shell, and now you in the house, baby.
Now I understand that people want to have a connection before they decide to put cinnamon rolls in assholes. I don't agree with him saying go ahead and jump to it in order to stay. That's literally prostitution. I mean, just literally.
Broke up, I was getting a lot more women because in bed, yeah, you see when you get some pussy, you're giving the wood of your life. When you're broke, yeah, and you ain't got nowhere to stay. There's been times I had nowhere to stay. I think at the crib. That was one.
I want to talk to y'all about that new show Tiffany Haddish has coming out about dating homeless people and giving them a chance and stuff like that. Now, I'm not opposed to the idea. Let me tell y'all why. When I was
We're on the other side of the fence now. Now we've talked to the hobosexuals. Now we're going to listen to several different stories from all walks of life of people talking about dating homeless people. Be careful on these apps.
Here's the thing. I had chopped it up with this young man, and he told me, he said, well, I would love to, wine and dine you, whatever like that. And y'all know that was the special words right there, wine and dine, okay? Because I ain't never gonna turn down no meal. So I said, okay, and everything. Now, y'all already know how Houston is. It take an hour to get from one side to the other, okay? So I was on the north side, so he sent me this address. And I'm like, well, he missing a suite number, something like that, because, it just took me to, like, the loop around. I'm like, so I parked by Wendy's. I said, maybe he's finna get us a 4 for 4, because I like 4 for 4s. I already had my order ready. I do what kind of sandwich I wanted. He said, no. I said, well, it is a wing stop over here. And I said, well, I ain't really that picky. I'm just hungry. You know what I'm saying? But he said, nah, just keep walking. This man stayed up under the bridge. Like I saw the garage or whatever like that, but he wasn't in no trash can. You see what I'm saying? So when I got up under there, y'all, let me tell y'all something. That man, bridge/house, looked better than a lot of these men's apartments. It was furnished. They had a whole bed. I ain't talking about just no mattress. I'm talking about a bed with a headboard. Had a nerve to have a nightstand with a lamp on it. He had a mini refrigerator like the ones you bring to college.
Oh,
Do y'all
wow.
hear what I'm telling y'all? Do you hear what I'm telling you? The man had a dresser. Do y'all understand what I'm telling y'all? So I'm not opposed to the idea or anything like that. Maybe y'all can creep on the come up and everything like that. And instead of him living up under the bridge, maybe y'all can put y'all money together and get you an apartment beside the bridge on the freeway. Y'all know them apartments be like $500 or $600 a month. You might hear some gunshots and people getting raped and killed or something like that. But as long as you stay in your house, you'll be all right. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, I'm not opposed to the idea, because after meeting my little crackhead man and everything like that, I said, these type of men are some of the sweetest people that you will ever meet. Sometimes you gotta, bring them back down, because sometimes they get the big head. It's only because they men, and y'all already know how men are, some of them, not all of them. But like I say, I'm not opposed to that idea. Let me hear what y'all gotta say, because I think that would be good for some women. Just give people a chance. If you can date a man out of the pen, you can date a man under the bridge. I mean, listen, it's all the same.
I mean, she do got a little bit of a point. If you can date a man who's fresh out of jail, I do get why you could date a homeless person or a homeless man. And she has such a sweet spirit too. She has a very sweet spirit about it. So I don't know. It might just be like her thing. She's sweet, she's kind, she's very understanding. Would it be your thing? Because girl, I don't think that's my ministry. I don't think that's what
19-year-old Rebecca in her prime, okay? In her prime. Matched with this guy on Tinder. No surprise. We're not surprised here. Oh no. And this homie, I gave him my whole entire address, right? Not thinking, oh, he can kill me. What am I gonna do? Die? I mean, I'm here for it at that point. Anyways, and he pulls up in a Corvette, and I'm like, sweet ride. And he goes, it's my grandma's. And I'm like, it's your grandma's? It's so cool. And he's like, all right, let's go eat. We go eat. Okay. And I'm sitting here learning about this dude. And he goes, yeah, I'm homeless. I said, what do you mean you're homeless? He goes, I put everything that I had in my bank account, flew to Hawaii. Now I'm homeless. I said, you chose to be homeless? He's like, I mean, sure. And I'm like, what? So why are you here? He goes, my grandma flew me over here to visit.
Oh.
But I'm going back. I said,
the homeless?
Okay, so we go back to my apartment. Whatever. Things are happening. Fast forward, I buy this amazing comforter set, right? I love it. I love it so much. It was so expensive. And I'm sitting here in my bed, and my toes start itching. My feet, my ankles, and I'm like, what's happening? What's happening? And this is a few weeks later since I seen homie. And I returned the UGG set because I'm like, I'm allergic to this. I can't have it. So I returned it. So I ended up going to the doctor. It turns out I have scabies. This homeless guy gave me scabies. Oh! So I had to go to the doctor. I had to get lotion for my scabies, some scabie cream, okay? I never talked to the dude before, but now I probably gave someone
no.
Because if they resold that whole comforter set, that would have been bad. But here we are. Hopefully I didn't give another person scabies, but like, interesting story. Never go out with a homeless guy. But he was so cool. He was a really cool guy. No joke.
Listen, white people. No, I'm just playing. I guess this goes to show you can't just take a man home on the first date. You know, because you don't know if they got rabies, smallpox, chickenpox, monkeypox, scabies. Which one is it? You just don't never know what they have. But I appreciate her for being honest and being like, you know what? We were living life. We were enjoying our time, and we just so happened to pick up somebody who had a couple things wrong with him, and it got into my bed. But after that, I have learned my lesson. Because what is life without some lessons learned?
Story time about how I dated a homeless guy. I posted one of those dating rap TikTok trends at the beginning of this year, and I posted something about dating a homeless guy, and I swear I've had so many friends and family be like, what is this homeless guy? So buckle up, here it is. I ran into this guy on Hinge, and I had my place of employment on Hinge, which looking back, that's like super dumb, but it's in Aerospace, and this guy says he works in Aerospace, so he was like super interested in meeting me. We never like matched really or talked on Hinge, but fast forward, he was at a party with my roommate's boyfriend. He said something about working in Aerospace to Joe, and Joe was like, oh, you should meet my girlfriend's roommate. She works in Aerospace, and he's like, is her name Anna Brown? Which is also a little creepy. So he's like, oh my gosh, yes. And he's like, oh my gosh, I saw her on Hinge. I really wanted to meet her. Like, we work in similar industries. So Joe's like, oh, actually, we're meeting up with her tonight. You should come meet her. So we did. We met, and he was like, cute, normal, cool. He immediately asked me on a date the following Tuesday, but he's like, I fly in and out of Chicago all the time. I don't really live here. I'm all over the place, but I can take you out on Tuesday. He like bought this pottery class in Pilsen, which like I thought was the cutest thing ever. Like the only thing I've ever done with guys is like go get like super drunk on Wall Street or something. So I was like, oh my gosh, we're going on a real date. Yeah, let's go. We went on that date. And during that date, he tells me that he's an ex-military divorced man. He also was traveling back from Virginia Beach, I think, and brought me the seashell. And was like, I was thinking about our date, so I brought you the seashell, which I thought in the beginning was like really cute. Second date, he was like, oh, let's get a bottle of wine and go sit at the Chicago riverfront and have like a little picnic. So once again, I'm like, this guy's bringing me gifts and this guy's trying, like, this is so cute. But once again, he's like, I have to fly in and out, whatever. Like, it can't be until Tuesday of next week. So I was like, okay, whatever. He picks me up, we park somewhere in the loop, and the back seat of his car, no joke, is filled to the brim with suitcases. His trunk of his car is filled to the brim with suitcases, and in the middle of the loop, he whips out a suitcase, opens it up, and he's like, this is my party suitcase, and gets out 2 bottles of wine and like a janky like corkscrew and like plastic cups that he has in his car.
First of all, I ain't even gonna lie to you. Whenever it's time for me and my mom to hang out, we usually grab us a cooler, put some ice in it, and quiet as it's kept, I told her, girl, we got to get some lawn chairs. Because we always park somewhere like at a park, and it's usually a lot of grassy area. We don't like to sit in the grass, so we just kind of be standing outside and stuff. And I'm like, girl, we got the cooler. We might as well get us some little lawn chairs, sit out, you know, enjoy. But anyway, I think it's crazy that he, even though he homeless, he made sure he had him a party bag. He made sure he had him a bag of liquor. Smart man.
Like, I was like, are you living out of your car? And he's like, I told you, I'm like all over the place. I'm a businessman. I have to fly in and out of Chicago all the time. As if I didn't think that was a red flag enough, on that date, he proceeds to tell me that, I don't remember how old he was, that he burnt down his childhood home. He's like, yeah, I burnt down at the house. I like lit matches to everything. And then my mom was cooking brownies and we watched my house burn to the ground while we were cooking brownies outside. All of this is still not a red flag for me, so I went on a 3rd date with him to a Cubs game. Sorry, I had to start getting ready, so here's a change.
Friend, why are you so crazy?
But anyways, the 3rd day we went to the Cubs game, and it actually went pretty fine, so I thought, until we got like tipsy, because that's what you do at a Cubs game in the bleachers. And then he's like, I have to drive to O'Hare tonight because I'm staying there because I have to leave in the morning. Surprise, because he's homeless. Okay, there's so many red flags and I haven't even started, so come back for part 2. Story time, part 2 of the time that I dated a homeless guy. I explained in part 1 about the first day he told me he was an ex-military divorced guy. 2nd day he told me he burnt down the childhood home. And then 3rd date he drank and drove back to O'Hare because he didn't have an apartment because he was always in and out of Chicago for work. I clearly have extremely high standards because I continue to hang out with this guy. The 4th time we hung out, we did a Sunday fun day with some of my friends, and my friends were like, what do you do? And he was like, oh, you know, just like a little bit of everything. Like, I shake hands, I get stuff done. Remember, like, we're supposed to be in the same industry, so I'm like, well, what do you do? And he's like, I just do a little bit of everything. We're like, well, what do you do? And he like couldn't answer the question. So we joked and we were like, are you in the CIA? And he's like, I swear I'm not in the CIA. Like, I can't tell, like, I don't know, like, I just get stuff done. We come back to my apartment and this man whips out his birth certificate. He has this fake Louis Vuitton duffel bag and he's like, look, I swear I'm not in the CIA. Like, here's my birth certificate. Like, who just carries around their birth certificate on their person? So that's weird enough, but then it ends up being like 10, 11 p.m. at night. He's not leaving. And then I in my head was thinking he has nowhere to go. And then I realized like he's gonna have to stay here tonight because he doesn't have a home. And he just flies in and out for work and I guess he's not working. So anyways, he ended up staying because I'm a pushover and I wasn't like, get out of my house. I don't know why you have your birth certificate out and you're freaking me out. After that encounter, like I knew I needed to like end things with him. I happened to be going home for Nashville for a friend's baby shower. So I was like, hey, I'm so sorry. I'm going to be out of town for a while. I'll be in Nashville. Sorry. This man says, well, that's great. I actually have a bachelor party in Nashville. Like, I'll see you there. I'm literally thinking, oh my God, he's following me to Nashville. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, it's my friend's baby shower. Like, I'm probably not going to be able to meet up. So sorry. Whatever. Nashville comes along, I wake up at my parents' house and I'm not joking, in the middle of the day, I have 8 missed calls from this guy. And I'm like, hey, sorry, I'm working, I can't talk. And he's like, hey, I need you to call me, I'm in Nashville. And all my friends' flights got canceled. Like, isn't that crazy? Like, but I'm here, I'm in Nashville, and none of my friends are coming anymore. At this point, I'm like actually kind of freaking out and I tell my mom, I'm like, Mom, I'm scared of this guy. Like, he doesn't have anywhere to go and he just showed up in Nashville and he's saying that he's here on a bachelor party and now ironically he's here and all of his friends' flight got canceled. Like, I'm freaked out. And my mom's like, ask him what the flight number is. Like, look it up and see if there's actually a flight that got canceled. And I did and it checked out, but like I was just so freaked out. I'm like, I know he just needs a place to stay. Like, he flew here so he could stay with us. So I end up just being, I can't talk right now, I'm working, whatever. And then fast forward, I go out to eat with my friend downtown. It's like 8, and I finally text him back like, hey, sorry, I was working from home today. I'm now at dinner with my friends. Like, if you're still around, you could meet us up after dinner. And like, why am I doing this? Like, in hindsight 2020, like, why am I even still trying to meet up with him? I don't know. And he's like, I didn't hear from you. I had to fly back to Chicago. I was like, oh, okay, well, that's really weird that you would just show up in Nashville and then I don't ironically text you back for a few hours and you end up back in Chicago, because I'm sure you need to go bum a place to stay in Chicago. Somehow he was flying places, but he had nowhere to stay. And he's like, I'll come back tomorrow. I will fly back to you tomorrow. Like, what are you doing tomorrow? I was like, I told you I'm here for a baby shower. I cannot hang out with you tomorrow. His response was, I mean, how long does a baby shower last? Does it last all day? And I'm like, do not come back here. Like, you're freaking me out. On Instagram, I realize he ends up in Notre Dame. He's in South Bend, Indiana now at a Notre Dame football game. And he's texting me like, oh, I last minute got tickets to this game in Notre Dame, which it was a big game. And I'm like, oh, I thought you were supposed to be at a bachelor party. Now you ironically have tickets up in South Bend. Weird stuff like that was happening all the time. And he was texting me about it, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I was just kind of ghosting him, which in hindsight, I should have been like, you're freaking me out. I don't want to talk to you more. Nice to get to know you, but goodbye. But I was like, just slowly ghosting him. The next day on Instagram, he posts an Instagram story of the BNA airport sign. And I'm literally like, I have to evacuate this city. I ended up successfully ghosting him, which I guess is like the most immature thing ever. But when you're fearing your life, you gotta do what you got to do.
You're correct.
Anyways, I still follow this guy on Instagram, and on his stories, he's still like all over the world doing different things, and he has a girlfriend. So someone fell for it. It's not gonna be me. And I think he's a big fat liar, and I don't know what like the motive is, but something's fishy. That's the story about the time that I survived dating a homeless man.
Girl, now why are you still following him? Why does he still have any access to see where you're at? Why didn't you ghost him in the first place? It's not childish to ghost if you're fearing for your life. I think it's childish to ghost like if you guys had a good thing going on, a good dating situation going on, and out of nowhere you just decide not to talk. I do think that's not fair. But if somebody is stalking you down to the damn airport from state to state, baby shower to baby shower, hotel to hotel, then ended up back at your apartment, oh, you got to ghost him. You got to ghost him. You got to get you a Louisville Slugger, shotgun, some sort of a firearm, and you got to be ready for the rain when it comes, because he's coming back being crazy as soon as that girl is done with him, and you got to enforce that law. What I say last video, when they get crazy, I get crazier. What's up? Since we trying to just push up on somebody and say we're gonna stay there, what's up? I'm so sorry she went through this. Oh, girl.
Man tried to move in with me after 1 week of talking. Girl.
Tell us about it.
I met a guy and let me fix these clips. Do not come for my lace, okay? This is a safe space. So I met him a while ago, actually. And I ain't gonna lie, he did try to like holler a couple times before. But something, I don't know, it just never worked out. Like I feel like I was always probably entertaining somebody else. It was nothing but God. That was God telling me. It's not the one, sis.
Leave it alone.
Not you want.
Leave it alone.
And I didn't listen. I was just walking around the city. It had been some time, and I went out and I saw him again. Mind you, he hadn't really been outside like that. Like I hadn't seen him in several months. And you know what they say? They say absence makes the heart grow fonder. So when I see him back on the scene, he looks extra little good to me. Now don't get it fucked up. The nigga was always fine, okay? That was never the problem. He was always fine. He just always.
You just didn't want him when he wanted you, and now that he wasn't showing signs of wanting you, you wanted him, girl.
He had this mystery about himself.
Because he wasn't paying attention.
I had to solve the mystery. I should have left that shit unsolved. So he came over, bought some drinks. We exchanged numbers. Bada boom, bada boom. So I'm not gonna lie, we start chatting.
Okay.
That was good.
Sound real cute.
The chat was good. So then we go on a date. I'm not gonna lie, like while we was on the date, I seen a couple of red flags.
Okay.
We went to like a bar or like a lounge. We went to a lounge. When we get there, the server girl that comes to our table, it was like a vibe. It was a
like
vibe,
they knew each other?
There was a vibe there. It was like, hey, how y'all doing? And
it was
it was definitely giving like, I know this nigga here with you. I give him his 10s. He was playing it real cool, like, you know, like, so I'm like thinking like, okay, she just got a bad attitude. Cool.
And in my head, I'd be like, why would you bring me here knowing that you smashed the waitress who works here? Why would you bring me here?
You know, we just going on with the day, getting to know each other a little bit more. Like, the vibe is vibing. But again, y'all don't know, like, when you just feel like a energy, like a vibe.
You feel it, you feel it.
You just talk about me. That's how I felt. Not saying nothing because look, at the end of the day, if it ain't directed, it ain't respected. They ain't came up saying nothing to me. They ain't saying nothing to him. So I'm just chilling.
Okay.
So I'm like,
I like this girl.
I'm not gonna let y'all ruin my good time. I'm having a great time. The hookah's hitting. The drinks is hitting.
Okay.
Great. I'm having a great time. So then fast forward, a couple days later, he hits me up again and like he wants to go out again. And I'm like, sure, why not? So we end up linking up again and we go to another spot this time. And like this time,
low-key, I never knew that's what that brush was used for. I'm not like a makeup girl. Like I know how to do my makeup, you know, but I never knew that brush was used for underneath your eyes.
He's like extra on my body. Like the first time he was on my body, but this time he's like on my body. He starts getting like extra drunk. Like the first time when he was cool, like we was drinking and was vibing, but it wasn't like excessive. This time like I started noticing like he was getting like real drunk to the point where like telling me all his damn business.
I'd have been like,
so he just started saying how, you know, like he just freshly out of a relationship, going in about this girl and like, you know, how she broke his heart and like, you know, he's free now. Mind you, like this is our second date.
I've had a dude cry on our first date. Yeah, when I used to live in Alabama, I lived in Alabama for like a year and a half. I had a dude first date, and I know it was because he was drinking too much, but he started crying about how his grandma was dead and how she used to tell him not to cheat on women, but he never listened to her, and now he's never able to show her that he could do right by women. And I just was like, I think we probably had enough whiskey. So
awkward. So the check comes, he pays it, we get up to go outside and leave. As we're getting up to leave, guys, when I say this man was drunk, like I'm talking swaying, side to side, drunk, can barely walk.
Yep.
Me being the responsible
adult,
person I am. I'm like, I don't think you should drive. Like, you know, you are very.
What if he did that on purpose?
Drunk. Is there anybody I can call for you? Like, can I call for Uber? So he's like, well, can I just like I just need to sober up. Like, how about like I just come to your crib
and take a nap?
Like I could just let me, like I don't have to go to your room, nothing. Like just let me sleep on your couch, like, you know, for about 20 minutes, just so I can sober up and all this. Me being fine. You can come to my house, lay on my couch, and sober up for about an hour or so because I don't want you driving on the road.
Yeah.
And I put him on the couch. I set like a little trash bag and trash can right beside him because you don't have to throw up in my shit. I had, mind you, I don't go to my room and I don't lock the door because again, I know you, but do I really know you for real? Yeah. I'm just like literally laying in my bed like, how the fuck? Like how does a date end this way? So I set my alarm. So I wake up and I go in there. I try to get him up. Like, you know, just make sure. Are you feeling better? Like, can you drive home? And he's just like, oh, like, can I stay? Can I stay? And that wasn't crazy. remember what we said? That just wasn't the agreement. Like, are you okay? It's been 2 hours. You soaking up a little bit. So he's just like acting so incoherent. Like he just can't snap into it. So at this point, I'm like, okay, like you kind of like getting on her. He comes out and says, look, you know, like when we went on our first date, like, you know, my ex-girlfriend's friends, you know, they worked there, and they went back and told her that I was out on a date with you, and so me and her got into it, and that's not to know. So what does that have to do with right now? What does that have to do with you leaving right now? This man proceeds to tell me that they live together.
Oh!
And that she put him out.
Oh!
Me and his date. She put him out. So he didn't have anywhere to go. So now I'm like, well, are you really drunk or did you just need somewhere to crash?
Oh, that's all he had to tell me. Get the fuck up and get out. Go home. Sit outside your house. Sit in the car and fall asleep. Fall asleep on your lawn. Fall asleep on your porch. No, homegirl, you felt the instinctual, actual factuals telling you that old girl was already looking at you funny. So she already had an inkling. Oh, you don't really fool with me. Okay, let me go ahead. Skedaddle. Let me go ahead and get up out of here. As soon as me and my ex-girlfriend, anything that deals with an ex, anything. If you're dating me and you bring them up, I'm not fucking with you no more. I'm not talking to you no more. No, I'm not even gonna. I'm 34 years old. Hell, I look like still dealing with somebody going through makeup to breakup sequences with their significant other. No, y'all have that. Y'all go ahead. Y'all work that out. I pray that I find somebody who I'm so committed to, I can't leave them alone, and it's healthy. What y'all got going on is toxic, but whatever. I don't need to be here. You don't need to be in my motherfucking house. I would start pulling him up, picking up. Let's go. Let's go.
Did you get drunk on purpose because you knew you didn't have nowhere to fucking go?
That's what I think.
Makes sense.
That's what I think.
The fact isn't mapping right now. If all of this wasn't enough, he then proceeds to come out his mouth and say, if you could just please let me stay here for the night, like until I can figure something out. Dude, we only been on 2 days. We've been texting for 1 week.
You're going through a breakup too. You're going through a makeup to breakup situation. See, you could have called me. You would have been like, Jess, act like a boy. I'd be like, hello? Okay, who up in there? Nah, I hear that motherfucker out right now. You know, maybe drop my voice a little bit deeper or something like that. But I'd have been there to help her. Like, oh, he ain't leaving? Oh, he gonna leave when I get there. I guarantee it. Because there's no reason for you to stay over here and find solace over in my place when I don't even know your ass and you got a lady at home.
The audacity is actually commendable because the delusion is real. Like, commendable to have the balls to ask me some shit like that because that right there.
You said what? Yeah.
Then he says, like, I'll pay you, you know, to let me stay. Like, just tell me how much you need. Like, I'll cash up you right now. Sir, it ain't even about the money. It ain't even about the money at all.
And if you can cash out me money for you to stay here, guess what else you can do? Go stay in a hotel. Yes, you can. See, in a hotel, you ain't even got to tell them that you out here being a dog. You ain't even got to do that. You can just go on in, use your credit card, debit card, or Cash App card. I don't know if they take that down at the hotel. You can use whatever you need to use and get your ass on in there.
The dating pool, trash. Literally sewer, toxic waste, trash.
I'm so sorry, homegirl. I'm so sorry. I love her beauty supply store.
So let me tell you about a girl whose nickname was homeless by choice. So one time me and my friend go out to eat. We both had the day off. We went out to dinner. And it was just me and a homie. And we get there and we're sitting on the patio, but it's kind of cold outside. So we were the only one that decided to sit on the patio.
So I put him in here because I know I do have some male viewers and I want us to all know being good people like we are here in the neighborhood is just hard. Whether we're men, women, being good people is just tough. This is a young man who also had to date a homeless woman.
Our waitress comes out, super cute, looks great. She gets our drinks, we chat it up, make a little small talk. She goes in to get our drinks, comes back out, and uses us like being outside as like an excuse for her to like get away from everything and not have to be inside and all the chaos of the restaurant. So she just begins hanging out with us outside.
Ain't that so weird? She's like, oh, I am at work and let me tell you what's going on inside of my job. They're like, oh, Rebecca, get the drink order. Oh, Rebecca, table 2 is looking for you. Oh, Rebecca, you dropped another plate of food. And I'm just like, I know I'm at work, but what the hell are y'all doing in my face? You know, so anyway, I came out here to see what y'all doing. What y'all doing out here? Where y'all from? Y'all from around this area? Please stop calling me Carl, okay? I'll come in off my break when I want to. Yeah, see, he always calls me in when it's my time to work. And I'm like, first of all, I need my break before I work. I need my break.
So finally, after a few times of her coming in and out, my friend's like, yo, hit her up. Like, she looks good. Like, get her number. And I was like, yeah, for sure. Like, I feel you. Like, I'm going to do it. But by the second or third time she came out, she started getting a little too comfortable. Starts telling us how like she's getting beat by her man, but she needs him to get rides to work, so she has to like sling dope to the staff for him to make him money so she can keep having her rides. And then she said she would rather be with him than be at home, but at one point before he came in the picture, she was homeless by choice because she'd rather be homeless than be at home. And so my friend is gay, so when she went inside, you know, he looked over at me, he was like, homeless by choice. And so all night he was like, that bitch said homeless by choice. And he just hung on to it, and we just made it a thing, like homeless by choice was her name. And so I eventually get her number anyway, even though he was like, you better not get that bitch's number. And so I still get it. I still get the number. I text her for a little bit. And then at the end of the night, like going into the next day, like we just never talked again. So we talked like for like 6 hours, and that was it. Fast forward like over 2 years later, I was dating this chick, and I was like, hey, why don't you come to the gym with me? And it was like 8, 9 o'clock at night. She's like, yeah, let me go to the gym with you. So I'm dating this chick. Like I said, 2 years later, we go to the gym, and at the front counter, as soon as I walk in, this chick goes, hey. And I'm looking at her like, I don't know who you are. And then she could kind of sense that I was like, who the fuck are you? And she was like, you don't remember me, do you? And so after a long pause and me just kind of staring at her, I was like, homeless by choice. I couldn't remember her actual name, so I was like, fuck, like I know who you are, but to me, you're homeless by choice. Luckily, I was able to pull her name like out of my ass, and I ended up figuring it out. And I was like, yeah, I remember you. But she was talking to me like we was going way back, and I was like, bro, I knew you for like 6 hours. And then made my new girl jealous, and it was a big ordeal because I was trying to tell my new girl, like, I swear this chick is a nobody, and she was like, who the hell is this chick? And this is the gym you go to? But yeah, that's the story about homeless by choice.
I bet that girl probably stopped talking to him like, no, look, I ain't in the mood for it. I came out here to work out my glutes, not get into it with whoever work here. That is not what I came down here for. You got great teeth and you got a real charming personality, but I see that you be messing with hobo bitches, and I ain't got the time for it. I do not got the time for it. Sir, let this be a lesson. If your friend says don't do it, don't do it. I don't care if the girl was cute. Do not do it.
I'm pretty sure this man is homeless, okay? See, what happened was I was walking outside of 7-Eleven. You don't have to say it. First red flag, I know. He was like, whoa, where you come from? I ain't never seen you around here. Meanwhile, my daughter looking like Snoop Dogg off of Baby Boy talking about some. Now I'm over here like, you know, I've been here for a while. Thank you. You have a good day now. So I get my ghost sticks going, baby. And then he says, wait a minute, please, let me get your number. So I looked at him, I said,
No.
You know, he did have some muscles or whatever, so I was like, okay, here's the number, whatever, okay? I don't like dating for this reason. Anyways,
no, friend. Hell no, you ain't about to do that one now. You took your ass down to 7-Eleven. You seen this motherfucker sitting on the sidewalk beside the ice cooler. He talking about, excuse me, no, you real beautiful, you real radiant. The sun ain't even shining like you, baby. Can I get your number? You know, he's sitting down, she's standing up. She walked past, she like, no, I really can't do that. You're breaking my heart every time you walk away. Every step you take, it's another ache. She like, okay, I'll give you a chance. You got some arms on you. No, I don't care how cute he is. I don't care if he look like Ghost off of Power. If he is sitting outside, hell no. Unless you got a lot of money and you're just like, you know what? I need me a cat man. I need me a man who's gonna be at the house cooking, cleaning, doing the pool boy stuff. Now, if you need something like that, then I don't fault you. Get it how you live.
My number. My daughter's like, that's the first man you ever gonna give your number to. And I was like, you know what? Sometimes it's easier to just give them your number and walk away, right?
Oh, I got
like
you.
He wasn't cute or anything, but I met him outside the 7-Eleven. I met my baby daddy outside the bus station, okay? It didn't go so well. Anyways, he says, he texts me and he's like, let me take you out on a date. I don't date, whatever. I'm trying to get in, you know, the game, trying to get my little toes wet or whatever. So I meet him a couple days later. He texts me on a date. We cool. We having a good time. Okay. Then he's like, you know, thank you for the evening. I'm putting a long story short. Okay. But then he says he's going home. I'm like, oh, okay. He calls me. He FaceTimes me later. He's still in his car. So anyways, it's about an hour later. He's still sitting in his car. I said, why ain't you in the house? He's like, oh, the room I'm renting from. And I was all, what? Basically, he's like, the people don't let me come in after 12 because they're real Christian-like and stuff, okay? So I just, I'd rather sleep in the truck. I took it a step further. I said, okay, you have a good night. I took it a step further. I said, I'm going to give him another day. The next day, his phone's off. And then he going to write me from another number. And he's like, hey, baby, this is your man. Man, who? Mine? Because mine would not be sitting in the car, but I had to give him the benefit of the doubt. Okay? So then, the next day comes along. He calls me. It's, midnight 30. He in the car. I said, let me see where you live at. This man turns the camera around, okay? He's sitting in the parking lot, like a big ass, like Walmart parking lot. He's like, oh yeah, the apartment's right there. Well, you just told me the other day you had a driveway. He was like, well, the driveway to there. I was like, ah! You liar, pants on fire. And God, why would you do this to me? Because I was perfectly happy with business. All I wanted was some taquitos at the 7-Eleven, and now I done got sent to homeless man. See, ladies, stay to your damn selves.
This was not God, girl. Okay, there were so many red flags that she should have paid attention to before she kept on proceeding with the damn mission. Hell,
all right,
I
ladies, sit down. We're going to have a story time about dating. Okay? So, back in the day when I used to date, I used Plenty of Fish, I used Match.com, whatever. We've all done there. No judgment.
Yeah.
So grab a cup of coffee, sit down. This one time, I met this guy on Plenty of Fish, and he was good looking, he very intelligent, funny, he made me laugh, and we decided to meet for dinner. Now this was in a very high-end part of town, and the restaurant we were going to was pretty nice. I mean, something you would dress up for. So I get to the restaurant, he's not there. I went ahead and got a table, and pretty soon he comes walking in. He's dressed nice, but he's got this backpack like the size of Texas on his back. And I'm like,
oh, like a traveler.
Okay. So he comes over to the table. I'm like, dude, what's with the backpack? Are we on the lam? What's happening here? And he says, no. He says, I live just outside the city, but I ride my bike into town for work, and I carry the backpack, so I have a change of clothes and things like that with me, and I don't have to go back and forth. And made sense, but this backpack was huge. It was huge. So anyway, we sit down, we have a lovely dinner, lovely conversation, just laughing it up. We're just hitting it off. When the check comes, we decide to go Dutch.
I'm not gonna lie to you, nowadays, whenever I date somebody, if we have this immediate spark, this immediate chemistry, attraction and stuff, it makes me a little worried. It does make me a little worried, because I'm like, every time I have this with somebody, it ends up not really working out. But if I have like a little bit of, I ain't gonna say toxic communication or tension-filled communication, but happen to understand each other and, talk more, then it works better. I don't know. It's just weird. It's weird.
Not a problem. First date, that's fair. So anyway, then we decide to go for a walk around town. It's kind of a downtown area, and there's a little park, and it's a lovely summer evening. So we go for a walk. Again, great conversation, laughing, joking, a lot of things in common. Same kind of personality, kind of smart ass, the whole thing. Nothing physical, but just a great evening. At the end of the evening, we're like, yeah, let's do it again sometime. Fast forward a few days. He calls me up. He says, hey, I'd like to see you again. Okay, we decide to go to the movies. He says, okay, I'll be running a little bit late. You get there first, buy the tickets, and then I will buy the snacks. And, we all know snacks are usually more than the tickets. I'm like, it's still a Dutch situation. It's okay. So I get there ahead of him. I buy the tickets. I wait out front for him, and here he comes rolling up on his bicycle with the backpack. Huge backpack. And he also has a Walgreens bag. So I don't say anything about the backpack this time. I'm like, clearly this is his thing. So we go in.
I know he better not have brought that Walgreens bag full of snacks. Now see, this is first date etiquette. If the movies is the first date and y'all ain't really know each other like that, like y'all ain't no friends who decided to take it a step further, y'all ain't no former coworkers who decided to go on a date, y'all ain't no associates who decided to go on a date. No, this is a brand new person. We're not doing the snack sneak. Okay, we're not doing the snack sneak. We ain't doing that. But if we're on our second date, yes, we can do it. Don't be strolling up with the snack sneak and it's our first movie date. Matter of fact, don't even let it be our first date, be the movies. Because I don't mind doing a snack sneak, but it cannot be that first date, that first real date.
And we bypass the snacks, we get settled in, and he pulls out the Walgreens bag, and it is full of a smorgasbord of snacks. We've got the chips, we've got the pop, we've got the candy, anything you could possibly want, he's got in this bag. And I'm like, okay. I just had to laugh to myself because I had a grandma that used to like sneak her entire meal into the theater. So, you know, it's
go
done.
with it.
So we watch the movie, we come out, the sun's still out, it's a beautiful evening. I'm like, you know what? I really don't want this to end. Let's go grab a bite to eat. He says, well, I'm a little tight on cash. I'm embarrassed, and I don't have my debit card or anything with me. And I'm like, not a problem. You know, there's a drive-in right here within walking distance. We'll just go over, sit outside, have a burger. Okay, sounds good. So we do that. And as we're eating, we start talking about our lives a little more. And then he started to vomit his story on me.
Here we go.
His story.
Here we go, baby.
And I will just give you the cliff notes. Basically, he was a recovering alcoholic. He was currently living in a homeless shelter. And he had no job. And he was reaching people through the internet at the library on the computer. And he had like a pay-by-minute phone, you know, that sometimes he had minutes on it, sometimes he didn't. The whole thing. Anyway, it was a situation. So after listening to his story for a couple hours, I said, you know, you're a nice guy. I'm sorry you've hit on hard times, but, you know, we cannot be in a relationship or pursue this any further. We'll stay friends. We could be friends on Facebook, that kind of thing, but we're not going to date. He completely understood. He was actually really cool about it. Good. So we parted ways. Fast forward a year later. I'm on Facebook. I see him post just to the general public of his friends and followers, hey, I need some quarters to do laundry. Can anyone help me out? Well, by now, I had moved about almost an hour away from that.
I don't know this lady's name, so I'm going to just call her Miss Pink Lady. Now, Miss Pink Lady, I know good and well when he posted that he needed some quarters, you did not think to yourself, I'm going to be a good Samaritan and I'm going to give him some quarters and I'm going to help him with his laundry. I know you did not think that. I know it.
Apparently, he was still living there. And I'm like, what the hell? I'm sitting home. I got nothing to do.
No.
I stay for a drive. I load my dog. I let him know I'll be there. Where can I see it? You know, he says, I'll be at the library. Of course, he's at the library. He's online. So anyway, I load my dogs up in the car, roll the windows down, blast the music, get the quarters, head up to see him. I get to the library and I go inside and they had like this breezeway that you go through first, and here he is sitting on the ground against the wall, almost passed out, covered in vomit, smelling of urine. Oh my God, it was a scene. And everything inside me said, run! Do I run? No. I'm like, I can't do that. He's a human being. I can't leave him here like this. Now, picture, this guy's like 6'4". He's tall.
Girl!
He's a big guy.
You don't know. You don't look nothing but maybe 5'6", 5'7". Hell no.
And I am 5'5", you know, and back then a lot smaller, you know what I mean? So anyway, I am struggling to get him on his feet. He's cautious, but he's out of it. I'm struggling to get him on his feet. I get him out. I get him into my car. My dogs are hanging their heads out the window because the smell is atrocious and it's hot outside. So I drive him down to just a few blocks down the road to a little hotel. It was like a Holiday Express or something not too expensive. I go in, I get him a room, I pay it up for the week. And I'm like, this, you know what, maybe he can get sobered up, whatever. I leave him with the quarters. I leave him with some laundry soap. I went to the convenience store next door. I get him like some bread, some peanut butter and jelly, some bananas, things that didn't need refrigeration, water, but things that he could eat when he came to. Mm-hmm. So I leave him. He's still kind of out of it, but he's going to sleep it off. I leave a little note, you know, take care. I drive back home. So the next day, that night. So that night on Facebook, I post to his page, listen, if anyone knows this guy, this is where he's at. This is the situation I left him in. Can someone please check on him? Because I was kind of concerned. I mean, he was really out of it. So next day, I get a message on Facebook. And it was from someone I didn't know, but it was a mutual friend of his and I's. And he says, listen, thanks for posting for us to check on him, because we did, and he's now in the hospital. Apparently he had taken the quarters I had left and gone down to the convenience store and bought a box of wine and drank the whole thing. And when they checked on him, he was completely comatose out of it. And so they got him to the hospital, you know, with alcohol poisoning, whatever. Anyway, the guy says, can you go to the hotel and get his stuff? We didn't grab his stuff, and now we can't get back in, and and the hotel's under your name, blah, blah, blah. Oh Lord. Okay, so I drive back up there. I go into the hotel room. It's trash. I mean, it smelled of vomit. It was just disgusting. I open the windows. I gather up his stuff. Some of the food had been eaten, and actually the quarters are gone. But I mean, he was there for one day. How much? Oh, I don't know. It was horrible. So anyway, I go to the hotel, to the hospital. I bring him his stuff. By now, he's alert. He's doing fine, you know, whatever. I say, you know, I hope you do well. Here's your stuff, you know. And he had like 4 or 5 people there surrounded with him. So he had friends. He had people that cared for him. That made me feel good. He wasn't alone. But I didn't need any part of that. So I leave. And I go home. I delete him off Facebook. I'm like, I don't want my heart leading me into a bad situation trying to help somebody that I can't be helped. So I, you know, just kind of forget about it. And fast forward a year later, or maybe even 2 years later.
Yes, girl, I love her story.
I get a text from this guy. And his name was just still in my phone. And it comes across and he says, hey, this is so-and-so. Do you remember me? And I'm like, yeah, as a matter of fact, I do remember you. How are you? He goes, I wanted to thank you for helping me that day. He says, I have been sober since then. I've gotten a job. I have an apartment. I'm doing really well. I have a girlfriend. And he says, but you just caring for me that day has always really meant a lot to me. And I'm like, well, great. I'm glad to hear you're doing good. And I says, I hope you continue to do well. And I haven't heard from him since, and that was a few years ago. But it's like,
wow.
That was crazy. I mean,
yeah, girl.
It just goes to show that no matter how good they look on paper, or even when you first meet them, there's stuff going on. Everyone's got a story, so be careful out there, ladies.
Yeah, I agree with her. And I wonder if she felt a little bit of a hurt feeling since he was able to get his stuff together after that moment and find a girlfriend. Because I feel like sometimes us as women, because I've had a man not necessarily stay with me and not have a job, but he had money, but he didn't have any common sense. So he didn't know what to do with his money. So it was like having a child who worked a little job. You know what I'm saying? So it was very hard. And once he left me and I had taught him how to like pay bills on time, budget, go grocery shopping, wash, all that stuff, he had went on to the next woman and perfectly happy, having a good old time with her. And I kind of felt hurt because I'm like, why couldn't you have done that when I was helping you with all this stuff and being patient with you and whatnot? So I wonder if she felt like that for him to call her. And even though he thanked her and was very appreciative of her, and I'm pretty sure she did this out of the kindness of her heart, I wonder if it hurt her feelings that he was able to change for someone else and not for her. And I do also wonder if it was loneliness that made her continue to be open heart to him, continue to help him. I wonder if that's like a mix of what it was. I get either way. I get it either way. I think my past experiences have taught me that you can't depend on the person to change or expect change from a person, but the feelings are still very real that you have to feel. Like you have to come to the realization, my expectation is this, I can't believe it ain't that. Man, here's my feelings, let me go ahead and deal with them so that I'm still open for the next experience. But girl, I like you. You know.
Y'all, my love life is honestly just comical at this point. So first, let me give you a little bit of background as to how I started to piece things together that he was homeless.
If you know who this creator is on TikTok, this is the one who was trying to kind of do the whole, oh, I just want white women as my audience, and it totally failed for her. Yeah, it felt bad.
And I think it's funny.
Oh, but then she was back on TikTok with a new man, and everybody told her that he was probably homeless.
That y'all picked it up before I did. So you would think that it was the fact that he didn't want to go home that really clued me in. I remember sometime earlier him mentioning that he didn't have it all together. Like I kept saying like, no, you're doing pretty good for a 23-year-old. Like you have a good job, like you have a nice car, you're doing pretty good. And I remember him being like, I also remember him continuously mentioning how he didn't want to go home because he didn't want to be alone. But he had told me earlier that he had a roommate. So I was like, I mean, technically you wouldn't really be alone. So anyway, I let it go. I digress, whatever. He doesn't leave until I literally tell him like, hey, my sister's coming over. You gotta skedaddle, you gotta go. And he's kind of already hinting about coming back when she's gone. And, you know, I'm down, whatever. But here's the thing that really made me question it all. He left for about an hour, okay? Maybe 2. And then he texts me and he's like, hey, would it be okay if I took a shower at your house? And I was like, I thought you went home. Why would you take a shower at my house? I didn't ask any questions. I was like, sure. I mean, why not? Why not? But I was starting to get really suspicious. He shows up, he takes the shower, and I realized that he has this book bag that's like it seems to be his lifeline. Like, that's where he goes when he needs something, is that book bag. That one was kind of questionable because I carry like overnight bags wherever I go. You know what I mean? And this one also really got me. So he took a shower. He like had he had his like hair shampoo, his body soap. Like, he was ready. He was set. It was all in my shower. The next morning, it's like 5:30 a.m. in the morning. He's getting ready to go. And it's like he's leaving his shampoo and stuff in my shower. Like, what are you doing? I started thinking like, oh, you trying to post up. You were trying to post up. No, sir. Hey, don't forget your shampoos and shampoo. Don't forget that. And after I posted that update for you guys, the comments started coming in. Be sure he has a home. He sounds like a homosexual. And I was like, you know what? I don't think they're wrong. So what do? I call his ass up. Hi, I just wanted to give you a call. The conversation kind of like trailed a little bit and we got to the subject. I was like, I'm not trying to offend you or anything. I know you said you live with roommates, but can I ask you a question? And I was gonna ask it anyway, but you know, just to be nice. And I was like, do you have a place to live? Like, basically I just was like, are you homeless? And then I get the, honestly, blah, 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 things have been hard. I was like, no.
Okay, so I feel like she put on all that makeup for nothing. I kind of got lost in the story. I know she basically got tricked into dating a homeless man. But why was she drawing dotted lines on her top of her head and drawing circles on her cheekbones? It's to highlight it, right? Because looking at her now, I don't feel like she needs all that makeup. I feel like... But let me shut up. Let me shut up before somebody gets to talking about my Angry Bird eyebrows, okay? Because I don't want nobody talking about me. But I just, hey, that's just a lot of makeup in my opinion. A lot of makeup.
I met the sexiest homeless man in the world, and then I married him. Here's how it happened. So I joined a dating app, and I was on there looking for all kinds of trouble, but God knew exactly what he was doing. A young man reached out to me because he saw that I said I liked anime, and he didn't believe me. So he asked me about the animes that I watched. So I was like, nah, big fella, you go first, because I need to make sure you're not feeding off of my list. He sent me his list, and I was like, okay, honestly, I don't know how to spell half the animes I've watched, so let me go ahead and give you a call, and I'll give you the rundown. We ended up talking on the phone for hours. And in that conversation, I ended up finding out that he was actually looking for godly community, and so was a bunch of other people I knew. So I was like, you know what? Let's all get in a group chat together, and we could all get to know each other. We ended up spending the entire summer fasting and praying, getting closer to God and closer to each other. And in us building our friendship, that's when I ended up finding out that he was homeless. And I understood because at the time, I was experiencing autistic burnout, and I was now 6 months into not having a job. I myself was about to be homeless as well. So we ended up creating a bond. We're helping each other out. I mean, sending $20 back and forth because we both were going through it, and we were just encouraging each other in the Lord. We also ended up spending a lot of time outside of our friend group getting to know each other. So I was like, hey, are you feeling me? And he was like, nah, I'm not. I'm just looking at you as a friend. But I'm like, yeah, but you're giving. I want to be with you. And he was like, no. Turns out he was just trying to be respectful. And I had a feeling. So I was like, you know what? I need to trick this man. So I suggest to the friend group, hey, what if we all got together for my birthday / for a Friendsgiving, and then, we can just all be together. And he went ahead and he was like, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and come down. As soon as he came down, it was like we were magnets. It was undeniable how we felt about each other. We wanted to take things slow, but God was giving us every possible sign and wonder that we needed to go ahead and get married. So in obedience, we did. Yesterday, we celebrated our 1-year anniversary, and now that same man who was homeless is now providing for this entire household, and I could sit at home and rest. I say all that to say, trust God, and I love you, baby.
I ain't gonna lie, girl. Y'all was both homeless. Yeah, y'all was both homeless. Y'all was both broke. I know that autism is real and all of that type of good stuff, but girl, you didn't have no job for 6 months. I know good and well. you didn't have no money for 6 months, and neither he didn't have no money. So their story was more so of a come up story together. I don't think that it was her supporting a homeless man, but I don't know. Tell me what you think down in the comments. Have you or someone you know ever supported a homeless person? And if they have, tell me what their TikTok or Instagram is, because I just want to watch the stories. Anyway, I have been the Just Case and Red. I'm so glad that you tuned into the J Red. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.